We don't really commit to a woman. A man never commits to a woman. Also, a man is never afraid of committing to a woman. What he's afraid of is committing to the man he knows he needs to become for that to work out.
Yeah.
That's a tall order for most men.
This video with Nico went viral with over 700,000 views and 17,000 shares because what he speaks about is one of the biggest challenges that people are dealing with in relationships these days, and that is men's inability to commit to who he needs to be in his relationship to make it work. Now, of course, women have commitment issues as well, but I'm gonna share from a man's perspective, as I can definitely relate to what Nico has shared in this video. Now, when Nico shares that a man never commits to a woman, what I feel he means by this is a man is committing to who he chooses to be, not just in the relationship and for his partner, but in life overall. See, a man is committing to something much bigger than just his woman. He's committing to becoming a better version of himself for her, for their relationship, and his life. And this level of commitment to a new way of being can also be applied to your commitment to your health, your business, and how you show up for your loved ones. Now, there is a transformation that happens, a new version of you that you need to evolve into being if you want to be the best version of yourself. And this requires you to be brutally honest with yourself and look into your shadows to shine a light on the dark parts of yourself that you suppress or ignore. This is where you need to ask yourself, where are you out of integrity in your relationship, in your health or your business, that you're cheating yourself and those that count on you? And what inner work needs to be done for you to honor what you say you're committed to? And this is what men truly fear, is facing the darkness within them to overcome what they've been avoiding. This will require you to ask, where are you out of integrity in your relationships, in your health, in your business, that you're cheating yourself and those that count on you? What inner work needs to be done for you to honor what you say you're committed to? When we commit to a new standard, we are now setting a new bar for us to meet. And our fear of failing, our fear of rising up is what holds us back from stepping into that next level. It's a tall order for men. And yeah, it can be, because men need to let go of being the boy running around playing with girls. See, many men don't want to grow up because a part of them is still that hurt little child who hasn't healed himself yet. And letting go of the parts of themselves that they used to hide or avoid taking responsibility for can be very challenging, especially if they're emotionally immature and haven't done their inner work. And I could personally relate to this because I was seeking external validation from women all the time, and it all came down to the childhood wounds that were unresolved with my relationship with my mother. Until I healed my relationship and overcame the trauma and the experiences that I had with my mom at a young age, I was seeking that validation from other women, which had me being distracted in relationships, not being able to respect and fully commit to my partner, and ultimately sabotaging a loving, deep connection. Now, this post received so many comments from women and men sharing their thoughts on what Nico had to say, and I'd like to respond to some of these as well. So at Julpo Creation says, that is just silly. People commit to each other and create relationships together. Nobody needs to become anything to be with someone. So I will agree that yes, people commit to each other and people create relationships together. However, every relationship is different, and how you showed up in your last relationship is going to be different in how you show up in this new relationship. So it's not about becoming anyone you're not, it's about learning about your partner, adapting, evolving, and co-creating something together. And that is why every relationship is an opportunity for deep personal development and transformation. Okay, I'm going to apologize if I butcher your name. This is at Deepika Mulchandani. There is nothing to become, there is everything to unshed to finally reach at love. So, again, going back to who you choose to evolve into. And it's not about adding more, as she said, it's about shedding. It's about letting go. It's about releasing what there is that's blocking the love. And that is something I can speak to from personal experience. I've had blockages, I've had walls up, I've had my beliefs and all that limiting my ability to love and just open up. And when someone feels safe in a relationship, when someone feels that they can open up and really express themselves, this is where two partners together can really support one another in healing and letting go of the pain, letting go of the trauma, letting go of all the armor that we put on to protect ourselves is the sacred gold in a relationship. When someone who's been hurt and been through deep trauma can take off their armor and feel safe enough to just love and let that flow and receive it. That's what really it all comes down to. But for many people, including myself, I was guarded and protecting my heart for so many years, as a result, limiting the amount of love I would allow into my life. And I will say that the idea of just unshedding to finally reach love sounds a lot easier than it is. It requires deep, deep work to understand your wounds, to understand when did you start to close down your heart, who hurt you, why did it happen, and how can you go back and heal that originating incident or the multiple incidences to tell yourself a new story so you can start to slowly open up your heart again. Okay, and at Miss Lullaby says, commitment starts in oneself. If you can't commit to the goals you've set, then your talk and plan is just cheap. Commitment is another form of showing self-respect. If you can't respect and honor your words and your plans by showing how committed you are to them, then how can you prove your commitment for others? Yeah, I absolutely agree with what Ms. Lullaby is saying here, and I kind of touched on it earlier on. It's whether it's your career, your health, your partner, your family, how do you choose to show up in this world? Are you a person of integrity? When you say you're going to do something, do you show up fully and make it happen? Because if not, yeah, you're talking a big game, but you're disrespecting yourself. And I say that because all we have in this life is our name and our word, right? And if we don't honor that, if we're not in integrity, then we're showing that we don't really respect ourselves. So making a commitment to others is really about making a commitment to yourself day in and day out. Honoring our commitments and having self-respect also shows other people that we respect ourselves and that we are a person of integrity. And people feel safe. People can trust you. When they say that you do what you say, you walk your talk, you honor your commitments, that has them feel like you can be trusted. And that is where people who are out of integrity, who let things slip by, are sabotaging themselves in the biggest way. All right, and Mr. R. Jose Alejandro says, yep, the real question is, what kind of man do you want to be regardless of the relationship? And now this is an important question, and there's a distinction between changing your behavior, changing what you do to be in a relationship, or changing how you be and what kind of person that you want to show up in all aspects of life. Because there's a difference between doing and being. You can do all the things in a relationship. You can do all the things at the gym or at your career, but who are you being? Because being is different. It's a change in identity. It's a change in beliefs. It's a change in your energy and your commitment to all the things that you say are important. So the kind of man you want to be, honorable, in integrity, a man who's solid, safe, secure. Can you be that man regardless of relationship? Because when you're that guy, you don't have to worry about changing or becoming someone different in a relationship. You're a solid man, you're a king. And that is what makes a woman feel safe. That is what creates loving, deep connection, because she can surrender into her feminine when you show up as that kind of man. And that's why you have to choose who do you want to be and how do you want to show up. And the last comment here is from @HeyCalibre. And she says, I'm curious, is commitment enough though? To say I'm committed to the woman I need to become in order for this relationship to work, sure, it sounds great, but is it truly enough? So, great question, because yes, you can talk about it, you can say it, you can tell your partner that you are committed and that you're all in, but words without action to validate them are useless. It requires a day-to-day commitment of taking action that validates what you say you're actually committed to. And it can be in the smallest ways, but It is showing your partner that I'm thinking about you, I care about you, I love you, and you're displaying that commitment in everything you do. It's about a new paradigm as to how you think about your relationship. It's not about this is my partner and we're in a relationship together. It's about we are co-creating a life together. Everything I do has a reaction, a repercussion that may affect him or her. And it's about accepting that commitment as a part of who you are. It's a shift in identity. You are not just on your own anymore. You are one part of a beautiful relationship, and you need to act in accordance to that. So it's different than just saying you're committed to something, and another thing to demonstrate that commitment in your energy, in your thoughts, in your actions each and every day. All right, well, that's it for this video. If you got some value from what I shared, drop a comment down below, hit like, subscribe, and maybe share it with someone who may need to hear about who they need to be in their relationship. Thanks for watching.